It is late at night, and everything around you is quiet, but your phone screen lights up in your hand, and for a moment you realize how much of your life now lives inside this small device. And that is exactly where the story of the iPhone 18 Pro Max begins, not as just another yearly upgrade, but as something that slowly and almost quietly reshapes what a smartphone can feel like to use every single day. Because Apple is not trying to shock you with one big feature this time. Instead, it is layering multiple subtle improvements that together create an experience that feels noticeably more advanced, and it all starts with the display, which is something you interact with more than anything else. And Apple is expected to, once again, trust industry leaders like Samsung Display and LG Display to supply the panels for its Pro lineup, ensuring that the quality remains top tier with deep blacks, vibrant colors, and exceptional brightness. But behind the scenes, there is more happening, because the new LTPO Plus technology could take efficiency and smoothness to another level, allowing the screen to intelligently adjust refresh rates depending on what you are doing. So when you are scrolling, everything feels incredibly fluid, but when you are simply reading or watching something static, the display quietly conserves battery. And this becomes even more important as the phone leans heavily into artificial intelligence tasks running in the background without you even noticing. And while another supplier, BOE, may still be part of Apple's supply chain, it is likely to remain limited to non-Pro models because meeting Apple high standards for premium displays is not an easy task, and that attention to detail continues when you look at the physical design of the device, because there are rumors that Apple might move away from titanium and return to a refined aluminum frame. And while that might initially sound like a step backward, it could actually make the phone lighter, more resistant to small chips and scratches, and more practical for everyday use, while also helping Apple control manufacturing costs in a competitive market. And then there is a change that you will notice instantly the moment you unlock the phone, because the dynamic island, which has become a signature part of recent iPhones, could shrink significantly by around 25 to 35%, creating a cleaner and more immersive display. And this is made possible by moving parts of the Face ID system beneath the screen, a step that brings Apple closer to the dream of a truly uninterrupted display. And alongside these structural changes, there is also talk of a brand new deep red color option exclusive to the Pro models, giving the phone a bold, distinctive identity that feels both premium and fresh, standing out in a sea of familiar finishes. But the real transformation begins when you open the camera, because this is where Apple is expected to introduce one of its most meaningful upgrades in years. A variable aperture system on the main sensor, which allows the camera to physically control how much light enters the lens. And this is a big deal because it gives you more creative control over your photos, allowing you to capture crisp, detailed images in bright environments while also achieving natural background blur in portraits without relying entirely on software processing, and the results could feel more authentic, more cinematic, and closer to what professional cameras are capable of delivering. And if you enjoy zoom photography, there is more good news, because the telephoto lens may feature a wider aperture, improving low-light performance. So even when you zoom in during the evening, or in dim environments, your photos remain clearer, sharper, and more usable. And Apple may also refine how you interact with the camera itself by replacing traditional touch gestures with a pressure-sensitive control system, making it less likely for you to accidentally trigger something, and giving you a more tactile and precise shooting experience that feels satisfying every time you capture a moment. And powering all of these features is expected to be the A20 Pro chip, built on an advanced 2nm process, which represents a significant leap forward in both speed and efficiency, meaning apps launch instantly, multitasking becomes smoother, and even the most demanding tasks like high-resolution video editing, gaming, or AI processing feel effortless while still maintaining strong battery life. And this balance between power and efficiency is what allows the phone to support the next big shift, which is software-driven intelligence, because with iOS 27, Apple is expected to push deeper into artificial intelligence in a way that feels practical and integrated into everyday use, rather than overwhelming. And one of the most exciting possibilities is an upgraded version of Siri that introduces a camera-based mode capable of recognizing objects in real time, so you could point your phone at something and instantly receive useful information about it without needing to search manually. And beyond that, there are rumors of deeper conversational abilities possibly influenced by technologies similar to Google Gemini, allowing interactions with your phone to feel more natural, more context-aware, and more helpful than ever before. And when you take a step back and look at everything together, the advanced display technology, the refined and possibly more practical design, the powerful and flexible camera system, the next-generation chip, and the growing role of artificial intelligence, you begin to understand that the iPhone 18 Pro Max is not about one headline feature. It is about the way all of these elements come together to create a device that quietly adapts to you, anticipates your needs, and enhances your daily life in subtle but meaningful ways. And that is what makes it interesting, because it is not just a phone you use, it is a device that increasingly understands how you use it and evolves with you over time, making the experience feel smoother, faster, and more personal with every interaction.